tell us a little bit more about your multifamily experience and RV experience.
Okay, so once I mastered, I'll say mastered in my own terms, the landlord, after a period of time, I had mastered it, and it just became kind of boring. So I re-educated myself and took some more classes. And at the offset of that, I was actually working with a real estate agent, and he was, we were doing flips together. So in other words, I would supply the money, but he did all the work, which was great for me because this is when I was working still, right? Yeah. So, but at the end of that, after taking the Robert Kiyosaki class, I was like, you know what? I can do this flip thing myself. I'm going to go fire him. So I scheduled a meeting and we met. And I say fire, it wasn't like that. We're still friends to this day. But I just told him, I said, Jim, you know what? You inspire me to do this on my own. And I want to start fresh. I want to do this on my own. And I said, I want to make mistakes. And he said, Mechiel, please don't do it. I can help you with every step of the way. And I said, no, I don't want your help. So I went and got my own real estate agent, a different one. And I bought a house and I was going to flip it. So after that, I put too much money into it and I bought it at the wrong price. And when I went to sell it, it wouldn't sell. My new real estate agent called me up and he said, Mechiel, I don't know what happened, but the market in that specific neighborhood dropped $10,000. And I said, I think I know what happened. And he goes, what? And I said, did you hear about on the news, the guy that killed his wife and buried her in the backyard? I said, that house is 6 blocks from my house. I said, nobody wants to live here. So I did what I call that in my book is the flip that flopped. However, there is a good ending at the end of that. But that also, at the same time I bought that house, the same real estate agent had a multifamily 8-unit apartment complex for sale. And I had never owned commercial property before, and I didn't know a thing about it, but he helped me walk through the steps of doing it, made me feel very comfortable. And I ended up negotiating this deal, and I got it for a really good price. It didn't come without issues though. They actually had a seawall issue. But I knew that I was going to probably try to, get that fixed when I owned it. And my goal was to raise the rents as far as I could. And as people would move out, I would upgrade the units. And then over time, all the units would get upgraded and then I would sell it. Well, and I also borrowed hard money on this deal. So hard money, you pay more interest. It was 10% interest. And I had to repay the loan back or refinance within a year. So that year was coming up. And here's some things that I learned about the multifamily. One, the area in which this place was located was the only people that actually lived in this area were people that worked in bars and restaurants. Well, they can't afford, what I wanted to raise my rents to. Plus, this property was on the water. It was beautiful, but I couldn't raise my rents. So I learned that hard lesson. Another hard lesson I learned is that there were other investors in my neighborhood and they were paying for water and electric. Well, so that reduced my, my income. So at the end of that, getting close to that year, I decided to sell it after the updates and everything were made. And so I sold it, but I will tell you that I made $350,000 on that deal.
Yeah. In 1 year. 1 year.
In 1 year.
So, I mean, think about, you had 8 properties, which took you 8 years, but in one multifamily property, which took you 1 year from the get-go to, from starting the deal till the end of the deal, and you end up making whopping 350,000. It may not be a big amount now for you, but back then I'm pretty sure that it was a big amount.
Right.
$350,000 from one property.
One property.
So this is for our listeners, guys. If you are in real estate, you could be a single family active investors, or you could be passive investors. But as you scale up, from 8 single family homes in 8 years, and then one multifamily of 8 unit in 1 year, and ended up making good chunk of money. I mean, the returns, if you had investors, they would have made money with you if you had investors in this deal with you. Right. So the depth, the scalability. What had it been a 16 unit property, you would have made even more.
Correct.
I'm just trying to emphasize the points how people can scale up.